is Marjolein. Hello.
Yeah.
Hello, and welcome to the FastForwardAmy Show, the show where we talk about how you can lift your life and business with simple strategies. I'm FastForwardAmy, your host and coach, and I'll bring you a new episode every Tuesday. Today I am joined by none other than the business dad, aka my dad. Recently someone on my team said, "Oh, I almost forgot the business dad is actually your dad." My dad has been on the podcast multiple times in episode 10, 13, 24, 44, and 46. So he isn't a stranger, but it's been a while since we've recorded an episode together and we've never done it on video. So today we're going to get to know him a little better because he has big news to share with us. So welcome, business dad.
Thank you. I'm honored to be here.
Yeah.
And I look forward. I don't know what's going to happen, but I look forward to it.
Yeah, so for those who haven't listened to previous episodes, can you just tell us openly who you are, what you do, fun facts?
Wow.
Who are you?
Wow,
Bro?
that's a tough question. So my name is Vincent. I am the business dad. I'm Amy's dad. I'm the dad of 4 children. Professionally, I am in charge of a company called Swift Skills, and we deliver online training solutions for the food industry. We're market leader there. We also provide training solutions, digital training solutions for lawyers, solicitors, accountants, bookkeepers, you name it. So if you're interested, go to swiftskills.org. Thank you. So fun facts, I don't know left and right.
I know this.
I have to think about, Amy obviously knows, I have to think about the fact that this is left and this is right, and now I can say it, but sometimes I really have a hard time finding left and right. Other fun fact, I can say thank you in about 30 languages. I think thank you is a very important word, and I also think that the fact that you can speak someone's language, or at least you're trying to speak someone's language, always breaks the ice in a positive way.
You also know how to say hello in 30 languages?
Not in 30, but in many languages. By the way, hello is pretty international, like hi and so on. Yeah. But you know, it's international. In some countries, yes is this and no is that. So it can be very complicated. Anyway,
yeah.
I speak 5 languages, and I'm proud of that because I wasn't a good student, not at all. And I learned to speak 5 languages, which has helped me incredibly in my personal and my professional life. So,
and which languages are those?
I speak Dutch, I speak English, French, Italian, German, and I understand Spanish, and I can get by. I can pretend I speak Spanish. But that's 6, that's not 5.
I know how he pretends, and it's more like yo que Spanish.
Yes.
Our Dutch-speaking listeners will understand, because we have, obviously, some people are listening to the podcast and some are watching it on YouTube, so or on IGTV, wherever you're listening.
About languages, I speak Flemish and Dutch. Dutch is what people speak in Holland. I've worked there a lot, and I've noticed I used to have a list of words that are very different in their meaning in Dutch or in Flemish, and so maybe that's an extra language.
Yeah.
So that's 6. Hey, we're not 5 minutes in the podcast.
Yeah, and we already
I have another language. This is going well.
Yeah. So I want to ask you some different questions than I've asked you in the past, and I want to focus on what we're doing right now. Tell me about, do you have any favorite tools or gadgets? Because right now, like, I am wearing an Apple Watch. I know you're also very into tools and gadgets and stuff.
Yeah, I'm an Apple fan. Although I was a bigger fan when Steve Jobs was around than after. I think the company has lost its sparkle, and I think a company like Samsung is taking over a lot of that sparkle. Good for them. Gadgets. I love working on my cars. I love everything that has to do with historic rallies, as you know, because we do that together. And in that area, yes, there are some gadgets like some cameras we use, or some instruments that we use to be more accurate in what we're doing. Other than that, I have a feeling you're referring to something, but I
was thinking maybe like you have your iPad that you set up in a special way. You have a Remarkable you use, stuff like that.
Yeah, well, yeah, I'm in in these technological things, I think I'm an early adopter. I have to resist the urge to buy something then.
Yeah.
Like your mom has an iWatch. She got it from you guys.
Yeah.
I really had to resist the urge to buy one myself. And I thought, you know what? I don't really need it. So why should I buy it? And it's probably something that I'm going to use. And after a couple of days say, yeah, well, it's nice, but it's not something that I really need.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's not something that I really need. I don't really need my iPad. I don't really need my Remarkable. Mm-hmm. But I love my stuff. Yeah.
I've been testing my Apple Watch for a few days now. It's the worst battery I have ever encountered. Wow. You can't go 2 days with it. So the reason I tell this is because I often talk about stuff like this on my stories, and it's actually something people are very interested in.
Yeah.
Because the urge to buy stuff is always so big, you want relevant reviews.
Yeah.
I stopped wearing my Fitbit because it broke again, and I've had like 10 broken Fitbits so far. But other than that, I'm starting to... Because you called me earlier to tell me you were on the road, and I answered like this.
Okay, that worked. I think I don't need this. I'm getting to an age where I realize I don't need a lot of stuff.
Yeah,
I don't need as much stuff.
It's kind of like when you read all of these morning ritual articles and productivity articles, and at a certain point you realize you don't need to be reading the articles, you just need to do the thing.
Yes. Yeah, and you don't need to buy all the stuff. You can be very happy without all the stuff.
Mm-hmm. Talking about morning rituals and routines and good habits, you've been doing one habit recently that you are really in love with, namely something to do with rowing.
That's not recent. I've been rowing for the better part of 2 years now. We were watching House of Cards, and the bad guy, Kevin Spacey, who's a bad guy in real life and a bad guy in the series, he used to wind down on the rowing machine, on the water rower. So I bought it then. I have to say that then you could buy one, because now I've heard since the first lockdown they've sold so many units that you can't buy any. Anyway, so I row, and my goal is to row 42 kilometers, like a marathon, in one go. And I'm building that up gradually. So I have a weekly routine, or I try to wind down one day where I only go 4 or 5 kilometers.
Yeah.
Other than that, I always do at least 10 kilometers. And on the Saturday, I will increase my level. I'm now up to 25 kilometers.
And obviously, I know this.
Yes, you do.
Because you are a little bit like
And you have a rowing machine.
I also have a rowing machine. I'm getting better and better at it. I thought it was I'm not going to say the stupidest thing, but I was very unconvinced about it, because you've been, let's say, a little bit obsessed with it. This is also something we are very good at. My dad, my brothers, and I. My mom, not so much, but all the others, we are very obsessive. When we do something, we do it. That's very typical for entrepreneurs.
I recognize that in you.
Yeah, and in the others.
No, I mean in you kids. Yeah, I recognize that.
In all of us.
Not sure the parents have the problem, but anyway.
Yeah. What was I going to say?
You didn't like rowing? You bought a rowing machine?
I didn't get it, but now I finally get it, because it's the repetitive movement that actually makes it very genius.
Yeah, and you use, I am not a physical trainer, obviously, but I think I read you use either 86% of all your muscles. And so it's a very powerful exercise. I find it very addictive. I can't go a day without rowing now. And at my age, because I was born...
right before the Second World War?
No, right after the First World War. No, that's not true. Everybody's born after the First World War. So anyway, I have to really work out, and it really helps. I was on a holiday some time ago, and I wasn't able to row then, and I find it very difficult to find a replacement exercise or workout. So I like that very much. Also, one of the morning routines is taking a cold shower, an ice cold shower. And I've noticed that in the wintertime, the ice cold water is even ice colder than obviously in the summertime.
How did you start doing that?
Somebody told me of the benefits of doing that a long time ago. And then I started doing that. It has a lot of physical benefits. If you look it up, it's really very good for your immune system, for your blood pressure, for a lot of things. I've also focused on doing it for mental strength reasons. It's like going in the cold shower and really thinking, if I can do this, I can do anything.
Yeah.
Nobody can hurt me because I'm so strong. That I can
because
do
you
this.
choose yourself first thing in the day, I think.
Yeah, and it's also, I think nearly every time I go like, should I really turn on the cold water tap? And then I go like, I would feel so disappointed if I don't.
Yeah.
So I just do it. And then I'm there and I'm a little bit proud. So first thing in the morning, I'm proud. That's not bad, is it?
I think that does a lot, because a few weeks ago I was feeling very overwhelmed and out of sorts. And I used to work out with a personal trainer. I've actually been doing that for years. Everyone is always like, Amy, why aren't you sporty anymore? And I'm like, I work out. But I was really dragging myself through the workouts and really just waiting for someone to force me to do stuff. Because I was so adamant, like, I need to do that thing first thing in the day. My personal trainer is on a pregnancy leave now. And also lockdown, you can't train with someone else. So what I did, and this is... I have an indoor pool, so you can't really probably, well, this is a little bit weird. But so I was at this point where I was like, I really need to change something, because ever since the workouts fell away, I went back to waking up, drinking coffee, starting work, and thinking every day, oh, more tasks, I'll just start a bit earlier. And then you're in your bed and you snooze a little bit, and then you wake up, and then by that time, you definitely need to start working. And I just made a decision. And I was like, okay, I gotta get over myself. I'm so fed up with this. And I just told myself I need to get in the pool. And every day, rain or shine, I just need to get in the pool and then just swim, because that's really easy. Because swimming is not something I need to think about. So I did that, started doing that. And the first few days, I had to use the 5-second rule. Do you know the 5-second rule? Yeah. So the 5-second rule is where you say 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and you do the thing, because your brain has literally 5 seconds to kind of override you. I think you have like the angel and the devil, and the good intentions we have, like, I'm going to make the healthy choice, I'm going to do the workout. You can always start discussing with yourself, and once you go in a discussion with yourself, you will lose.
Yeah.
So you have 5 seconds to do the thing you set out to do. So I started doing that with the pool, because the pool was very cold, because we had a problem. But I was still like, I'm just going to get in the pool, because how difficult can this be? And I did, just standing on the edge, just 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And by 1, I had to jump. So I did that. And after a week, I didn't need it anymore to do the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. But something shifted in my mindset, because I felt really proud that I did it, because I started the day with a yes and not with a disappointment.
Yeah.
And then I bought the rowing machine.
Same thing.
Now I kind of like, either I row or I swim or I do both. Ideally, I row, and in between the breaks of rowing, I can walk on my treadmill disc, which is also a cool gadget I have. And then I go in the pool. That's an ideal day. Because
she asked me what toys I have. Indoor pool, rowing machine, treadmill.
Sounds a little bit dirty.
Yeah, I know. I'm not going to talk about toys with my daughter.
So what I was thinking is, how can I elaborate on this morning routine when other people don't have a pool? But the rowing machine is the exact same thing.
But it's not the pool, it's not the rowing machine, it's doing the thing that you promised yourself you were going to do.
Yeah, but also that thing needs to be easy. I think that's a really big difference in what I was trying to do the last couple of years and always failing and never doing the workout without my personal trainer, because I had to think too much. And believe it or not, too much of my thinking goes to my work, my team, my family, and I don't have any thinking left. And I finally get why, like, the greats of the world have their morning routines the way they do it, and why people go for a run, because people who can run, unlike us, they don't have to think about running.
Well, I did some running a long time ago, and you have to get your gear on, you have to think about the temperature outside. Is it cold? Is it warm? You have to adapt your gear to that. It's like, for me, the whole hassle of getting into, okay, I'm going to run, is a lot bigger hassle than just pulling down the rowing machine, turning on the iPad, because I watch series.
You need to help me find something to...
Yeah. And then just sit down and start rowing. I do change my routine. Sometimes I go overhand, underhand, 2 kilometers like this, 2 kilometers like that, because I have a challenge with if it's too much routine, then then I would get fed up.
You get bored.
I get bored easily. But I wanted to get back to the 5-second rule. I think it's all about walking the talk. I can't say to the people who are following me on Instagram, this is what you should do, and not do it myself. So I think I have to walk, not I think, I want to walk the talk. I am walking the talk. So if I tell people, take a cold shower, I can't live with the fact that I wouldn't take the cold shower myself. I remember I used to work for an American company, which great company. You may have read some books that they brought out, or that the founder brought out, Dale Carnegie. And when I worked for the Carnegie many years ago, I remember we had a convention. I told you I'm very old. But many years ago, we had a convention, and people from Microsoft were on stage. Now, this is a stage, the United States, 3,000 people in the audience, or 2,500, I don't remember. Anyway, big thing. And these people from Microsoft were there, and they were going to demonstrate PowerPoint. Can you imagine this? So I'm talking about the days when there was no PowerPoint, a long time ago. And they were such bad presenters. They were so bad at what they were doing. I felt ashamed because of what they did and how poorly they performed, and they were the opposite of walking the talk. So I find it very difficult if people ask you to do something and they themselves are not doing it, or they're not good at it. I find that very difficult. I'm not saying it's not possible. I'm just saying in my value list, walking the talk is important. Yeah.
Cool. I like how we're having this conversation, by the way. I like that it's a little bit different. We're talking
I
habits.
hope people are liking it too, because otherwise they're tuning out, and then they stop listening to us, and then eventually we'll die. This is the butterfly. No, this is the butterfly story.
There's another habit that you feel very passionate about. It's something you always do. You don't even realize it. And I'm wondering how it ever started. Do you know what I'm talking about?
No.
Look at you. You're dressed immaculately, I think that's the word. You're always dressed to a T. You really like it when I do that too. You don't like it when I look like a bum. We have a thing about this. My parents aren't allowed to comment on my appearance or my clothes. But they struggle with I'm not judging people the way they are dressed. This is also walking the talk. So I like to be, I have this idea that if you have a tidy office, the quality of your work is better. If your car is tidy and clean, you'll get the feeling that it drives better. I know this probably sounds crazy, but for me, I've always told you, a clean car drives better, which is ridiculous because it doesn't change anything. And so for me, I think it's important, even if during the lockdown I worked at home, I would get up in the morning, obviously, take a cold shower, do my rowing, etc. And I would always dress up. I think it's very difficult in what I tell people, how I try to inspire people. I think it would be very difficult if I wouldn't do that. But again, I'm not judging people who are not wearing a tie or clean shoes or whatever. No, but it's something you feel very passionate about. Were you always like that? I think I was, but I think in the beginning I used to dress up because I needed the positive attention. I was craving for attention for many reasons when I was a kid. So that's what I used to do then. And then probably there was a time in my life where I used to do it because I thought that people would take me more seriously. Now I do it more out of respect for who I'm talking to. I'm here with you, and I would feel, I think it would feel very strange for me not to do so. And also this podcast is being filmed, so the audience for me, it's also important. Yesterday I was on a client visit with one of our people. Great person, great salesperson, great guy, great team member, everything you want. And we were walking up the stairs, and I noticed that his shoes were incredibly dirty. Ooh. And not dirty, there wasn't like mud and so on, but they hadn't seen the inside of a shoe shine box for a long time. And it was such a mismatch between who I think this person is and how he performs, and then I watched the shoes. So if I were the client, probably I would unknowingly notice this, and it would trigger me, it would distract me. So anyway, I like to
I like to not dress up, but I like to wear a clean tie, a tie and a clean shirt, and so.
I think it's very interesting. I think it's also a little bit of a controversial topic. I remember a few years ago I was in San Diego with Jessica, and we were at a sort of conference, and someone was going up to talk, and people in the US they dress differently than us Europeans do. I'm trying to find my words.
This is for the American listeners. We love you.
We love you. This is a European show in English. The person was walking up to talk, and I think Jessica and I, just by looking at the dress code or the lack of dress code, we kind of tuned out. Turned out, as he was talking, it was one of the most interesting talks we listened to the entire weekend. And we had a chat about it like, wow, that's really our own bias and the things we've been ingrained in our life, because it's not true, the clothes don't say anything about the quality of what's inside there. It might say something about if someone values it or not, because that's what you're saying. It is a very controversial topic. It's the same as when I tell my clients, I've done this in the past, and it's a very fine line. I've told my clients, please start wearing makeup and please look better when you record stories. Unless it's not your value and you don't feel comfortable with it,
fine.
Then it's totally fine.
Yeah.
But it does sell better.
Yeah, I want to really emphasize, I'm not judging anybody.
No, but if we wouldn't have any opinions of our own, this would also be very boring to listen to.
But the story I'd like to share is, some time ago, I watched a television program on the Dutch television, and this was like a hearing of the boss of the Secret Service. And I remember that the boss of the Secret Service was like put in the middle of the room, and he had a little desk in front of him, and the committee who was interviewing, or, well, I don't know, they were asking a lot of tough questions. They were all seated around him in a U-shaped table, and each and every one of them, they were like, members of parliament and so on and so on. Each and every one of them was in a suit, wearing a tie and so on. The whole atmosphere there, by the way, in Holland, this is typically what they do. They're not judging the person; they're judging the results of the person. I love that. It's a very different. Story. Anyway, if you look at that in Belgium, I've seen hearings like that where people were in t-shirts and regardless of the fact that they don't look at the results, they look at the person. The whole atmosphere in the room feels so much more professional if people are wearing a tie. Now, having said that, again, not judging anybody, Mark Zuckerberg is leading one of the most successful companies, whether you like it or not. Everybody's using Facebook. It's an incredible success story. The guy doesn't have a shirt. The guy doesn't have a tie. He only wears t-shirts. Mm-hmm. If you look at Elon Musk, somebody I respect, I know he has a lot of enemies, but I think he's a visionary man. He doesn't always wear a shirt and a tie. I'm a big fan of Richard Branson. I can envision a lot of stories where I see him or videos where I see him where he's wearing a t-shirt. Mm-hmm. Very successful person, somebody who respects other people. So it's not for everybody, but for me it works.
Yeah, and I think it's kind of the same as, and this is something totally different, but some people talk about intuitive entrepreneurship, and sometimes there's a lot of focus on unicorn capacities of like, you can publish a podcast episode once every 3 months and have a wildly successful podcast. But that is the exception. You can grow as an entrepreneur and grow a really huge company like Mark Zuckerberg did and do it in that way. The easier route will be, though, to kind of to publish a podcast episode every week, to kind of adhere to the certain set of rules in society, because people do have a bias. I know this is very out there, what we're saying, or maybe not. I don't know. I think this might just be inspiring for people to kind of level up what they do, even just the way you show up on a daily basis. I truly believe, and I've been talking a lot the past weeks about productivity, and I'm totally into it right now. By the way, on Thursday, I'm hosting another Productive Power training. If you're listening to this as we air, you can still register through fastforwardamy.com/productive power. Just side note. I talked to Matthew yesterday, my brother, and I had him sign up. Thursday, yeah. I had him sign up for everything I'm doing this month. And he's like, this month I'm going to watch all of your stuff. And then probably I'll freak out if he's in the audience, but okay. What was I saying?
You were saying that
morning routines.
Yeah.
I was really thinking this morning because I didn't have a lot of time. I also think my hair has fallen flat by now, but it's okay. It can never be truly flat.
No, that's true.
If you can nail your morning routine, it's really 80% of the battle of your day. I truly believe that. If you work out and you meditate and you do a brain dump, because when I'm swimming, I just let all of the thoughts go through me. I stop swimming not because when I've hit a certain amount of meters or time, when I feel like the thoughts are dying down. And then I know like, okay, now I've thought everything through and I can start my day. If you then can shower, put on an epic outfit and do your makeup, and then you start and you don't first check your phone and social media, but you really do that, I think most of the anxiety people experience, most of the overwhelm people experience would all disappear.
Well, I think it also has to do with self-respect. Again, whether you wear a tie or you don't wear a tie,
judgment.
That's not important. It really isn't. I mean, I know people who look very neat and clean and well, very good in t-shirt and comfort pants and so on. So no problem there. But if you wear comfort pants, wear the right ones, wear the right t-shirt and so on. That's something that I would see. And that's something that I do find important. If you're going to go through the day and you have, it's like making up your bed. I make up my bed every day.
Yeah.
I know that's stupid, and I know people say, well, why would you make up your bed? Well, it's the discipline. It's because being successful is also being consistent and is being disciplined. And being disciplined is in doing these little things that you may not like doing, but you do them like every day, and you do them anyway. So making up your bed. And
after a while, they become easy.
And you don't have to take a cold shower. Maybe do something else. Maybe do another routine for 5 minutes. That's fine. Mm-hmm. Just do it. One of the challenges I have is I still haven't figured out how to post or how to post things on Instagram ahead of time. I post them live. So
we're going to fix that today.
Yeah, thank you. Very kind. Anyway, so I don't want to be on social media in the morning. I want to wake up, do meditation, and then get up. Mm-hmm. But in between, I want to post because I want to be consistent in posting on the Business Dad Instagram account. So every morning I am on social media and I'm posting something. If I can take that out of my routine, that would be great, because I feel how what a waste of time not posting it, but being on social media early in the morning for me. What a waste of time that is, because before you know it, you're there 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 20 minutes. The most important part of the day.
Yeah, exactly. I'm going to hop on that. Just going to close the loop of what we were just talking about. Again, zero judgment, and we know it's a bias. But I just want to say, be aware that your clients also have this bias and use it to your advantage strategically. And I do feel more productive and better when I look good.
Clean
and I
car.
know my entire team feels like this too. It's just...
A clean and tidy car drives better. If you don't believe me, try it out.
Yeah.
Clean out your car. Get out all the mess. Use a vacuum cleaner. Really, really, really spend some time on it, and you'll feel the car drives so much better.
Mm-hmm. I'm not going to say I'm not a messy person. I tend to make a mess easily. And
What's the difference?
Because I don't want to be it, so I'm not saying I am a messy person.
Yeah. You make a mess.
Yeah, but I have noticed for myself, if you might be a little bit like me, that you can create chaos really quickly. I have noticed that for me, that's a little bit of self-destruct, actually, I have. It's self-destructive behavior. I'm so used to being in the chaos, I create chaos. So that's something I want to just, because I know other people have this too.
It's such a conflicting thing, because I remember the guy who invented the chip that you have on your bank card, where you can pay without a contactless payment and so on. I think the gentleman is French, and he's a really very he's an incredible inventor, incredible entrepreneur, multi-millionaire as well. I know that his office and the workplace is one big mess. I mean, he's like, you wouldn't find anything in that place. You wouldn't want to be there. And he's incredibly successful. I don't remember how he dresses. So there's no direct correlation. For me, it's about showing up towards myself. It has to do with self-respect. It has to do with discipline, with consistency, with being there, and with showing respect to other people. I also know people who are very disrespectful wearing a tie. So, I mean, it's not because you're wearing a tie or a clean shirt or a suit that you respect people.
Like that.
Yeah.
Okay. Wrapping the part about habits.
Let's move on.
I want to talk about what we are up to secretly, semi-secretly. Next week, on January 18th, you are launching your very own Business Dad podcast. What made you want to launch a podcast?
I think the short answer is you. That's true. I mean, she said, why not? Why wouldn't you do that? The long answer is because, first of all, I think that there's a lot of very good content out there, whether you're on Instagram or wherever, on the internet, YouTube, etc., podcasts, a lot of good content. I feel a great need, I feel a lot of energy coming from wanting to share things that I have experienced, the good stuff and the bad stuff, the things that I've learned from doing the good stuff and the things that I've learned from making mistakes and doing stupid things. I feel an urge to share that with people. And one of the reasons is because I realized in following you and in being close to what you were doing, that a lot of people don't have this like support system of motivational parents or whatever. And that's not saying these parents are bad, but I had a conversation with somebody who's following me on Instagram. She says, my parents are teachers. They're very hardworking people. They've done fantastic things in their lives because you know what? They taught kids to read and to write and so on. How great is that? And she said, but I'm an entrepreneur and they can't support me. They can't motivate me. They can't inspire me in that area of my life. And there are a lot of people like that who have great parents or maybe who don't have great parents. Anyway, I feel now, at this point in my life, I feel very passionate about being there as not their dad, but as the business dad in supporting them. Because I realized, obviously, with our 4 children and you here, all of you are successful and you made your success yourself. 95%, 98% of your success is what you did, the hard work you put in there and so on and so on. And still, I think that we as parents, we were sometimes a catalyst. We probably, without knowing it and so on, we did things, we said things, you heard things that motivated you. And we take that for granted. And I've learned to understand the last few months that it's not so normal. And a lot of people say, don't take it for granted because that's not always the case. So am I the great guru? Am I the great genius? Do I know everything and so on? No, but I do want to share with these people. I want to support them. I want to inspire them. And I mean this genuinely. I really want to do everything I can. My background many years ago,
I always wait for the moment you say many moons ago.
Yeah, but then comes something else and I don't want to say that in your podcast. Can I say it?
Yeah.
Yeah, many moons ago when man fucked the buffalo. That's a long time ago. Sorry about that. You can cut it out.
And this is when you host your own podcast. That's why there's a button for explicit content. And my podcast is almost always on explicit content.
All right.
Unfortunately.
Okay. All right. So explicit. You can cut
swear.
it out. So
you can swear.
So what I was saying is now I lost my the thing I wanted to say.
Many years ago.
Many years ago, I was a trainer, and and I trained people in the areas of leadership, sales, management, mindset, and so on. I used to love the interaction. Now, obviously, these times have changed. I've built a business since then, an online e-learning business with skills. And still today, the urge is becoming stronger and stronger to share with people what I've learned, what I used to do in front of a classroom. And I've realized that maybe I can be there to support them. And
what are we going to be learning in your podcast?
I'm going to share everything I know about mindset. I've had very tough times, about some of the tough times. I've overcome them. I've learned from other people, and I want to share what I've learned there, how you can keep a positive mindset. Even if times are very tough. So that's one thing. Communication is one of the things that I feel very strongly about, because communication is very important in your leadership, in your management, also in sales, etc. Communication has a lot to do with the way you're listening. Women have an advantage there because women are pre-programmed to listen much better than men are. Men tend to listen to answer instead of listening to learn. And if you listen to learn, what are you going to learn? What are you going to do with that? It's not about manipulation. I think manipulation is a terrible thing. It's also a terrible word. So mindset 1, 2, communication. 3, business in general, business ideas. I think I have a track record there where I can share things that people will probably find helpful in their business. I've come up to the age where I can afford to say what I believe and don't believe in business. Then, leadership, management, and sales. Sales is one of the things that I feel very passionate about. So it's about a lot of things. It's called soft skills and attitude. And so far, I had my Instagram account for 3 months now, and apparently people are liking what I'm posting. So
what's the account?
The account is Business Dad. Is that the way you say it, Chet? Business Dad, not at Business Dad, or no?
No, it's Business
Dad. It's Business Dad. Yeah. And so a lot of positive reactions, a lot of questions, a lot of people saying, "Oh, this is exactly what I need." And so the concept is really, I'm not your dad, but I'm your business dad. I'm there for you if you need me, and I'm going to do everything I can to motivate and inspire you. That's the whole idea.
Because on my podcast, on the Fast Forward Amy Show, I've promised to always be real and raw. There is something I want to add to this, which is going to be a challenge for me, actually, and I want to lay it out. Because I, myself, and my team, we are with you. We're creating this podcast. Yeah. So this is what we're doing. We're doing this together. You might not see us. We are here behind the scenes. That is the star of the show.
In fact, without you guys, there would be no podcast. There would probably be no Instagram account. Yeah. The content would be there, but
And the challenge here is going to be that I am, right now, it's almost my birthday, but I am a 27-year-old woman. And I have done a lot of my success. I've created this myself.
You can't help that.
But I do have amazingly supportive parents who've taught me a lot. And the challenge we've been talking about together is that some people are going to start thinking then that all I do, I learned from you.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying. That's why I said earlier, you and your 3 brothers, you've built your life, you've done what you've done. And your success, what you have, you spoke about your pool, your house, and so on. That's all the things that you have achieved. And you've overcome the obstacles and you've done the work, etc. So that's 95% or maybe 98%. In addition, I think we were there to support you. We were always there to support you. And you've undoubtedly, when you were growing up and you were sitting at the dining table, you've heard us speak about things, good stuff and bad stuff. You've learned things from there, and that's what I want to share. Yeah. So, what is the impact? How big is the impact? Well, how big is the effect of what we've done? I don't know. But had we not been supportive parents, I'm sure you would have been successful. But maybe it would have taken you a little bit more time. Or maybe you wouldn't have an indoor pool. Yeah,
I don't mean like the things that it's not true. It's more like we've talked about this before, that we are aware that this might happen, and we're going to make sure in our communication and in the way we're approaching things that it becomes clear that we're a great team who learn from each other. People who learn from each other.
Oh, yeah, that's maybe something that people don't realize as much. We have a very strong relationship bond. We are really soulmates. Some people may know that, but we get along very well.
And that's what you think, no?
Yeah, that's what I think. What people don't realize, and some people do, is that I learn a lot from you. And I've called you for advice on business issues. You're in certain areas much stronger than I am, and that's where we're very complementary. I think we really complement each other in our talents and our strengths. And I envision us one day being on a stage together and doing something for a very, very big audience where we would really complement our skills and our talents and whatever. But don't get me wrong. I learn, but I learn a lot from Fast Forward Amy, much more than you would think, which is, by the way, one of the things that I think you should be doing. Keep on learning. Keep on listening, keep on reading books, keep on listening to podcasts. There is a reason why your podcast is so successful. It's because you are giving a lot of the things that you know, you're sharing. About sharing, I heard a great story. Can I share it? Yeah. I used to say, I'm going to give you information. And then a lady told me some time ago, she said, well, if you're giving something, you don't have it anymore. It's like Bedouins in the desert. They don't give you their water. They will share their water with you. And I thought that's such a beautiful way to describe what you're doing and what I'm going to do. I'm not giving everything away. I'm sharing what I know so that I still keep some of it and you have some of it and you can get better with it if you want to. You don't have to take the water, but it's like
Very
the sharing is such a more powerful word than giving, which is, I think it's strange. Anyway, nice story.
Yeah, and I think that's what I kind of like wanted to hit towards is that what we're doing, like my dad isn't going to be making podcasts about Instagram or courses about Instagram.
I know nothing about that.
Our audience is slightly different. You know things I don't know and the other way around. And some people might say, but you're both going to be talking about business. Aren't you going to be each other's competitors? And we don't look at it like that. We look at it as abundance. The podcast is going to be in Dutch though. We'll talk about that in a second. But it's going to be very cool, I think, to see all of the content living beside each other. Some people will be very pulled towards your way of teaching because I look forward to listening to your podcast a lot and I don't really listen to my own podcast because I make it. And I so look forward to for people to discover your podcast. I just really look forward to it.
I'd like to add on that because I think it's a crucial element. We will be talking about similar topics. But you will be talking about them from your age, your standpoint, your experience, and I will be doing that from my age, my standpoint, my experience. And it kind of like feels like I'm the outsider here because you're talking to a younger audience, obviously, and to an audience that is in their lives, they are building something or they are in the process of expanding or they're going to start their own business or being in the company, they want to move up in the company they're working for and so on. And I feel a little bit like I'm the outsider and I always think about somebody like, and I don't want to compare myself with him, but like take Elon Musk. If Elon Musk had worked for NASA, the US space agency, I'm quite sure he would never have done what he did with SpaceX. I don't know if you know what he does, but he shoots rockets in the air and the rockets land on their tail. It's incredible. You have to look at it. It's incredible. So this guy not only invented PayPal, then sold it. He didn't only change the way we look at cars and we drive cars, electric and so whether you like Tesla or you don't, he's a visionary man and he's changing the world. He's done the same with SpaceX. And I always say, if he had worked for NASA, he would never have worked for SpaceX. He would never have come up with these solutions. If he had worked for BMW, he would never have come with a 23,000 euro electric car that you can drive for 400 kilometers. Whether it's a good car or a bad car, I leave that in the middle. At least he's tried and he's changed the way we look at transportation in a big way. So what I'm saying is, because I'm not in your arena, I know nothing about social media. I know nothing about Instagram. I know very little. I don't know anything about the processes behind it. I don't look at building a business from where you are. I look at it from the outside. So I think it's very interesting because then I can add things. I don't know any better anyway. But I think they will probably be very complementary. The word we used earlier. They will live next to each other and they will probably make each other stronger.
Yeah, I think so too.
I don't see us, we've read a lot of similar books. I mean, I'm a big believer in the 80-20 rule, but I know you are too.
Yeah.
And so I will probably translate this 80-20 rule in a different way than you will translate it.
Yeah.
And I think it's very complementary. And added to that, I think it's time to do something in Dutch. Because there is a lot of great content, and I think your content is one of the main examples in English. And I think what we need is some content in Dutch.
Yeah. Did you struggle with that decision, English or Dutch? Yeah.
Yeah, and you helped me make it.
Yeah,
because it's easy to go with the flow. It's easy to think, well, the market is bigger and so on. But I'm not interested in the market. I'm interested in doing what I can here, and most people here understand English, but there's always this little barrier. reading something in English doesn't always have the same meaning than it has in Dutch. I often think in English, and I've said it to you, I think some words are very difficult to translate from English to Dutch, like empowerment. Think about the word empowerment. I haven't really found a good translation in Dutch, but still, I also understand that for many people, this little barrier is there. Yeah. And I want to be closer to my audience, and I want to do this in Dutch. And I say Dutch, it's probably going to be in Flemish, and I hope that people from Holland won't mind, and they will still understand me. I feel this is important. So there is in no way, I don't see any competition. Do you see competition?
No, I don't see it at all, but I think it's something some people, I assume, and this is going to be very upfront, I assume a lot of men will take you seriously and they won't take me seriously. That's on them, it's on me. Do you think it's going to be an advantage that you're a man?
I don't know. I can't think like a woman, so I wouldn't know.
No, it's because do you think people will take you more seriously because you're a man?
I certainly hope not. You know how I look at things. I think I'm probably not a stereotypical man in that respect. I do think that we will be very complementary, and the fact that I think like a man is probably going to be complimenting you thinking like a woman, but I don't see why they would take me more seriously. Maybe my age. I had some comments that people say, well, it's good that you can look at things from a different standpoint, and the standpoint is I have this looks gray maybe on camera, but it is actually blonde. just so that you know. It's called Venetian blonde. No, it's gray. So I have these gray hairs. And these gray hairs come from the age, but also come from experience. Now, again,
I also have some gray hairs.
Yeah, and you have a lot of experience. It's just different. In going through my life, had I known everything that I know today, that would have helped me.
Yeah.
And so I would have liked me being 25 or 35, and somebody like me telling me or asking me, why don't you think about that? Why don't you do this? Why don't you do that? So I think it has an advantage. Also there's no competition. Yeah. I really don't see any competition.
Yeah, no, for the record, I know your answers to this. I know you don't feel like this, but I think it's just interesting to share our own insights as we go into this, because that's the whole point behind this, is that we share about the behind the scenes of how it's really done and the things we've considered. So I think that's interesting. I think we're going to start wrapping up. I wanted to ask you some more things, but what I will do is I will ask them in your podcast.
Okay, can I add one thing?
Yeah.
Earlier you said, I wrote it down, I make myself ready for the battle of the day. That's one of the things that I've taught myself to look at the day differently. I used to go and battle. I used to put on.
Battle?
Yeah, you said battle, and that's okay, because I know you don't think about it like that. But I used to put on my armor and then face all the negativity that would come towards me. I know you're not looking at the day the way I'm describing it, but now I'm very much looking forward to the day. I'm really expecting abundance. I'm expecting good things to happen, and I want to go I'm on the lookout for what is the good news that's going to cross my path. I know you don't mean it like that.
Yeah, because I probably just use it in a different.
Because I know you also look at the day what gems am I going to find on the way today. But the day is not a battle. The day is really something beautiful. I get up and I'm grateful that I'm breathing, that there is water coming out of the shower, that my rowing machine is there, that I have a roof over my head. And I look forward to what good news is going to happen. I used to open my email and think, oh my God, what problems are going to be thrown at me today? Yeah. What obstacles will I have to overcome? And I've changed that. Yeah. And that really has helped me.
Yeah. I have a question for you. So we have two things I want to say, and then I still need you for those two things. First up, before I finish this, because we have a gift for everyone who's listening or watching.
Oh, I thought for me. No. Where's the gift? No.
First up, I want to put it out there that we are currently enrolling in the Business Freedom Elevator, which is my business coaching program. My dad has been a guest on there as well. I'm sure he will come back in the next round as well.
If you want me.
I can convince him. And if you want information about that, go to fastforwardamy.com/elevator. The program is my pride and joy. It's going to give you the entire roadmap to build roadmap to building a successful business, from building a profitable business to a profitable personal brand, all the way to building your email list, launching profitably. I just got a message yesterday evening from someone who joined my program and didn't really know if she would be able to do it because she wasn't really good at Instagram and marketing. And she launched her first program yesterday and made 50,000 euros in the first 2 hours. And it's all on, like, she did it, but I am very proud of how the program has helped in that. And she's only just getting started. So if you are looking to scale up your income, increase your authentic authority, and much, much more, definitely go and check out the Business Freedom Elevator through the link in the description, because it would be mean of me to not invite you, because you need this more than you think you do. Okay.
That was one.
That was one. Okay. 2. We have a free download.
Yes.
And can you tell us what it is? Because it's your thing. It's your creation.
Yeah, it's a 100-week calendar. And 100 weeks is a little bit less than 2 years, obviously. 1 year has 52 weeks, so 2 years would be 104 weeks. But I've looked at a lot of projects, a lot of things that you can do. And you can actually achieve so much in 2 years or 100 weeks. Let's say 2 years without the holidays. So a 100-week calendar is actually there to help you focus and really focus on each and every day and each and every week. It's really something that you can use whether you're making a project, or you're going live with something, or you're building a new product or a new service, or you're building a house, whatever. Everything, well, not everything. You can do a lot in 2 years. And this idea came to me some months ago, and I wanted to make this 100-week calendar that you can actually really put up on your wall. And every day there is this focus point that you can black out this little element, and it helps you. I've been using it for several months myself now. It helps you focus so much on this day and on what I have to do today. I say this in my Instagram. It's on the account. It's like you have to start today, do just a little bit every day, and so on. This 100-week calendar is, for me, a very, very powerful tool to help you focus and to do the things that you know you should be doing, and to do them on a consistent basis.
Yeah.
So, 100-week calendar.
Yeah, we're giving the printable to you for free, so you can go and download it through fastforwardamy.com/100 weeks. So that's 100 weeks. Sure, you can figure it out, but you can also just click the link in the description. And then you can print it out and start using it, put it up on your door of your office or something like that. And it's going to be one of the main things that the Business Dad is all about. So next week, Monday, you are launching your own podcast. The day after, by the way, we have an episode coming out about how to start your own podcast. So it's very complimentary, as you can tell. I look forward to it a lot. You're going to be going live in the morning as well. Mm-hmm. And I really enjoyed this little chat about success habits.
Thank you very much. I love being here. I really appreciated the chance to share a little bit more about who I am and a little bit of the idea behind Business Dad and the podcast and all the things that we're doing. And so thank you. And to all the listeners, wishing you all the best. Go and kick ass and do what you know you have to do. And you'll be more successful than you are today.
Yeah. Whenever we start a difficult ride in the rally we drive together, we say, let's have some fun. So I would say, just as a general message for your new podcast, for our new project together, let's call it that, for this new year and everything, let's have some fun. Cool. Talk to you next week, hopefully on both of our podcasts. You can follow us on Instagram, Business Dad, FastForwardAmy, and we hope to chat with you next week, and that you go and download the planner, and have a happy day.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Have fun.